Guardian. I'm afraid you'll have to defeat it to proceed.
Alright, starting things off, let's first get the turn order, and that is a little undesirable, because that means there's no guy that is going to go before the rest of the team does. That said, let's see, we can at least target Junpei towards number 6 over there. Or no, not that one, sorry. Number 4, I mean, sorry, I'm already getting things mixed up. Junpei is going to be going after that. Next, we'll want to assign Akihiko and Yukari to stand by, so that they don't hit any of these guys to bring them back up on the floor. We want to just knock these guys down and whittle them down by inches. So, we'll start off with Bufu, because as you can imagine, these crying tables here, they are vulnerable to ice, in counterance to their fire abilities. We do have to sweat a little bit on this first turn, and not from the heat of their flames, but from the potential of a miss. It's not a huge deal if I manage to knock down all of them and then just, or 2 of them and then just 1 misses. We have decent odds of surviving that. Where it gets scary is if I miss on my first strike, which thankfully I didn't. And now we are going to buff up our accuracy to make sure we don't have to suffer any more potential misses. Junpei is going to focus his attacks on the one that got up, and of course he heals it right away. Just get used to this. The AI, without fail... did I even bother to scan it? Jesus. That was the first thing I was supposed to do, and I think I immediately forgot to do it. But the AI, without fail, they will always, always, always hit an enemy's resistance if they are capable of doing so in a boss fight. So just accept that as a given. Don't even be surprised when it happens, and don't be surprised if it undoes some of your progress on your first turn. Unfortunately, the freeze status does nothing valuable for us in this game, so we're just gonna leave that guy down. And now I gotta think about it if there's anything I can do here. We can't refresh our buff, and, yeah, we really don't have much in the way of options right now, so just gotta use the wait command. And this is how this fight is going to proceed. Luckily, this time, once it gets to Junpei's turn, we should have the data of the enemy, so he won't stupidly hit it with something that it's resistant to. Not that he really has a choice to. Of course, it's... Man, it is bad luck that Junpei is the one who is, is the one who is... Oh no! That was a mistake! Oh god! Too impatient. That was bad. Now we're up to, we have to rely on RNG here. That was bad. I can't believe I did that. I sometimes just get way too eager to continue the fight, and here we go. Yeah, and of course I didn't miss. So I lose my turn, and I lose the fight because of a stupid missed input. Do not be me. That was me being very, very stupid there. And there goes our team. Maybe if we're lucky, Junpei will get a crit here. No? Okay, what's gonna happen? Aguilau on Junpei, that's fine. And is it an Aguilau on me? Yes. So we lose. Okay, try that again. Alright, attempt number 2. This time we have a much better turn order, which actually allows my team to work on one of these guys as we just work our way through the entire fight. This time I will not mindlessly fat finger the wait command again. Fingers crossed, anyway. Now, I could play a little risky here and actually blast the one that I've got assigned with targeting with Bufu twice for huge damage, but that would allow him his turn, and if he blasts me with Aguilau, I'm not confident I'm able to survive that, so we just have to wait here, and I really, really need to keep my thumb off the X button until I'm actually ready to select my move. That was a very bad mistake for me, and embarrassingly, I can't even say that's an uncommon mistake for me to make. Ooh, nice. Actually, that might be a little bad, because when a party member is set on the assigned target, targeting type, okay, it didn't. But when a party member is set to assigned targeting, and their targeting dies, or their target dies, they will then automatically revert to act freely. So you need to be mindful of that. I almost hit wait again. I don't know why my brain just wants to mash buttons in a game that's this slow. Possibly just because I want to get a leg up. Okay, so let's take a look at our guys. Oh, actually, who is their target? Oh, no, never mind, I was wrong there. I always assumed they just switched to act freely, but no, they do redirect. Also, unfortunately, do I want to risk it on that? You know what? Life's not fun without the risks, and I do actually have a way to cover my ass here if things go a little bad. Only having to deal with one of these guys is manageable, and I can avoid problems just by using my one more turn to switch off of Jack Frost. I always get these icons mixed up. Let me see here. Do we have anybody who's resistant to fire? I don't think so, actually. Omaikane, though, is the next strongest, so let's, I could use some level ups for Alp, though. You know what, let's pull out Alp. If we happen to get a kill if we happen to win the fight while she's out, that would be good for her, because I would like to get some experience for this persona. But yeah, some of the early battles in this game, how easy they are for you can really heavily depend on the randomized turn order you get for the bosses, and there's just not really anything you can do about that. Freeze, I've been over this previously. It doesn't really do anything aside from, I think it disables the enemy's evasion. This Crying Table is going to get an action here, but I was reasonably confident he might waste on Poisma like that, so that was no big deal to me. No skin off of my nose. Actually, you know what? At this stage, we can just kill this thing. And then everybody will redirect to the other one, and we don't have any fire weaknesses here, so this guy isn't that much of a threat. He can kill us in due time. We do want to be careful of that. He's not a non-threat, but as long as we don't have any weaknesses for him to exploit, we should be pretty good. And I can get the experience onto Alp here, which will help out immensely later. Alright, so we got 2 instances of poison here, which I don't know if I actually have any way to cure that, but I think poison cures when you return to the lobby anyway, so it's not a big deal. Alright, so we managed to take this one pretty cleanly. The random turn order I got this time, like I said, much more favorable, much easier to work with, and overall, not a terribly difficult fight as long as you take it patiently.
A guardian. I'm afraid you'll have to defeat it to proceed.
Alright, now onto the fight in Portable. Luckily, this one's a mix between being easier and harder than it is in FES. Obviously, the turn-robbing strategy is still no longer a thing, but because I don't have to worry about the fatigue system, I can much more easily prepare myself to do well in this fight, coming into it on the first available opportunity. So let's just go in with Yomotsu Shikome. Yomotsu Shikome is, she has access to Bufu, and is not weak to fire, so I have a greater degree of safety against the boss here. May as well scan the Crying Table, even though it really doesn't matter. And with the Ice Bracers equipped, I can still deal some pretty good damage here. And we can still rob one of them of their turns by simply blasting them with ice while they're down. Let me see, which one is next? If you aren't hitting the enemy with their weakness, whether or not they become dizzy is purely up to the RNG. That one was not dizzied. Oh, probably because he was already frozen. I don't think the dizzy status can overwrite the frozen status. And yeah, we get a whole lot of unhelpful information there, but let's see, the guy who's up next is that one. Let's instead just focus on taking on this one that's already dizzy. Focus on getting as much damage done to him as possible. Akihiko does not have the Elect Bracers in this version of the game, so he's not dealing as good damage. And let's see here, Junpei, you can once again just focus on the dizzy one. We do need to be mindful of how much damage we end up taking. So let's see here. We'll focus on knocking these guys down. Get this one knocked down as well.
Attack again. Here's our chance for
And, that's tempting. But I think it would be wiser to just take out this one. The all-out attack would do good damage, don't get me wrong. But we want to make sure that we get this one killed, and then we might have the potential to dizzy one of these guys. So yeah, let's go for the one that's going up next. With the Wind Bracers on Yukari, Garu does really good damage against these guys, and it outright killed him. Very nice. Let me think here. There is a chance that this guy could... Oh, I was about to say, I don't have any revival items, but I did find a revival bead. That was one mistake I made in my preparations coming in tonight. I really should have bought some revival beads. If somebody happens to get taken out, here comes a Maragi. Okay, we're fine. What I was saying is if someone happens to get taken out and I'm not able to revive them, they'll be taken back to the lobby, but they will be in the tired status when we reconvene with them, which would obviously make the rest of the night much harder. Anyways, we just want to go for the safer route, even though doesn't really matter at this point, and just take it out with the ice spell. There we go, not too bad. A little dicey towards the end. There was a chance that Yukari could have gotten taken out there, but it didn't come down to that. Alright, we got the Will-O-Wisp Raven and the Lightning Eagle, so I think I can take a guess what these guys might be weak to. This seems pretty logical here that this guy is weak to ice. And then, of course, Lightning Eagle's more than likely weak to Garu, but we'll see what happens. Yes! Indeed. Okay, we need to, okay, so that guy's gonna go first. Do I want to weaken that guy? It might actually be in my best interest to weaken this guy, so that's what we're gonna do. We aren't fully aware of what he's capable of doing, so I want to hedge my bets and play on the side of caution, and that might have been the wise thing to do there, because that's a pretty nasty move to be hit with at this stage of the game. We'll knock this guy flat on his ass, and then move back over the protagonist. Maybe I should have Garu'd that guy down just to take him out of the picture for, or get some extra damage in on him, but I wasn't really thinking about it. Sometimes the order of operations that you do things in does matter quite a bit. With the High Priestess card augmenting our all-out attacks, we shouldn't have to hit too many of these to take these guys down. I imagine probably like 3 of them or so. If we're lucky, we might get a Dizzy on them also. Here comes a Zeo. Ooh, unfortunate. And a Power Slash. Okay, another Zeo. Okay, oh, I was about to say that's good luck, but it is not good luck. In fact, we're doing quite bad right now. But fortunately, my turn comes back around. I've got my General Beat Stick here in Orpheus. Let's knock this guy down. Now let me see here. Do I have something that can use ice but isn't weak to fire? As a matter of fact, I do. He's actually immune to fire. Let's have Inugami knock all these guys on their ass. Except, oh, damn it, I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing there. That was my bad. That was a serious misplay from me. And because of that, Yukari is down. That's okay, though. We should be able to come back from this. Because I did get that Balm of Life. Okay, I'm playing this pretty rough. I wasn't thinking there. You know what? Just to get some extra damage in, because this won't cost me a turn if I use it, I picked up a Mabufu gem. And even if it's resisted, items always deal 50 damage. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. Let's use the Balm of Life on Yukari. Again, I'm playing this a little messy, but we're doing okay so far. Now, use the actual proper spells, and I'm not going to do the all-out attack here right away. I'm going to let that guy, well actually, not going to knock them all down. I'm going to let that guy get back up. Let's use a Cure Water, get 50 HP back to everybody. He's going to do Aguila, which will deal a decent bit of damage to Yukari, but nothing to everybody else, or Maragi, but not anything I'm too worried about. Sukukaja actually is a little bit annoying, but we should be fine. Okay, hit that guy. And then let's pass it back over to myself. Again, I've played this pretty lousy, but we're doing okay. We're hanging in here. Let's hit this guy with Bufu. Okay, miss. Not a surprise. That's just one of the things that we have to deal with. Here comes a Power Slash. As long as it's not a crit, it's fine, and it wasn't, so we're good there. Here comes the Zeo, but fortunately, we're off our weakness now, and what the heck, yeah, these things aren't going to come up next, so let's have Junpei do Vacuum Slash. And pretty good damage from Junpei there, honestly. Pretty happy with that. These guys, I know I can hit with my Garu spells. I'm not too worried about them dodging, so let's do that. Actually, thinking about it, let's, I got a better idea. Let's Baton Pass to Yukari. Let's, hit the entire party with a Medea. Then that thing is probably going to use either Maragi or an Agilao. Only the Agilao is threatening, and only if it hits Yukari. Okay, Power Slash, that's not a big deal. Yeah, as you can see, pretty low damage, especially because he targeted the protagonist, who actually has upgraded armor. Okay, that's one down. Then I can pass over the protagonist and do a Bufu spell to knock this guy down. So I played a little sloppy at this point, but we mostly got this fight in bag. Of course. Sometimes that's just how it goes. Here comes another Zeo spell, and it wasn't against Yukari, so I'm not concerned about it. Let's just do Power Slash on this guy right here. And then Garu this guy right here. You know what? Let's take a chance on this. Let's see if I can hit him. No. That's not a big deal, though. Yeah, this is fine. Yukari has just enough HP to weather that, so she's fine. We'll definitely want to use a Medea here. And then a... Yeah, Medea. We'll get that in effect. And to make sure Yukari doesn't get wiped out here, let's hit her with Rakukaja. That should mitigate the damage enough that if she gets hit with Agilao again, she should be fine. Let's go for another Bufu here. Got the hit that I needed. Might have to use a Soul Drop to get some more damage in, but we've got this fight in the bag now. So hit him with another all-out attack. There we go. Oh wow, that was a lot less than I was expecting. Accuracy and evasion reverted, and this fight's pretty much in the bag for us. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to have Yukari use Medea, then I'm going to have Junpei use a Soul Drop on the protagonist, and then just continue with the Bufu Onslaught. Keep these a little bit of healing in reserve so that we're able to do this. Okay, and then Bufu again. There we go, all out attack time. Okay, this is almost over. We've got this in the bag. Miragi is no threat to the party, especially now that Yukari is buffed up. And we can just unload on this guy with all our best attacks at this point, which admittedly is not that much, but hey. It sounds cool when I say best attacks. Go for another Power Slash here. Okay, and then one more Bufu into an all-out attack, and that should be game. Oh, come on! So stupid. Okay, Yukari, hit him with this. No! What the hell? Why are you guys all missing now? Okay, there we go. Junpei got a rather anticlimactic closer there, but whatever.
Its Arcana is the Empress. It's a guardian, so it'll be a difficult fight.
Alright, so we have the Change Relic here. This boss specializes in wind skills and poison skills, so first thing we want to do is we want to give ourselves some wind resistance, so switching to Alp is the smart thing to do. That'll have all incoming wind damage, and let me think here. I think I just want to keep everybody on Act Freely, and let's hit the boss with a Secunda to start things out, and give us some occasional breathers on the times where she misses. We don't have to worry too much about Yukari taking damage here, because the wind skills of this boss do essentially no damage to her. Vice versa, though, so that's the big reason why I wanted to have Yukari set up to deal physical damage. Here comes the Poison Mist. Alright, not too big a deal. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to have the protagonist go around and use some of the hundreds of Dispoisons that we got in order to cure some of this poison as the damage from it ticks. And basically, this fight's just going to boil down to, do we get a critical hit and get a powerful all-out attack on the boss? One thing to note is that Akihiko is going to have a bit of a rough time here. He does not have resistance to the boss's damage, so we're going to occasionally have to bring him back in with some healing skills. I kind of would prefer it if he'd use the Zeo every now and again. Okay, him getting poisoned is actually a pretty good thing for us, because he's by far the least worried about what poison does to us. What we're going to do now is we're going to switch over to Orpheus. Actually, you know what? Apsaris just barely has more defensive prowess than what is it? Orpheus at this point. So it's smarter to switch over to her and get the cadenza going up, give Akihiko a good bit of healing there. And then Yukari can go back to trying to take this thing down with Pierce attacks. Another Poison Mist. One thing that's nice about already being poisoned is obviously if you're poisoned again, it can't do anything. Or rather, if the poison is used on you again, it doesn't matter. Let's switch over to Alp here and hit her with a Secunda. And with Cadenza's buff in play and Secunda reducing her damage further, this makes the boss not at all that threatening. We do have to worry about the poison damage, but as long as Alp is in play, okay, another Poison Miss, and complete misses there, so pretty good for us. Akihiko's getting pretty low on HP, but we've got enough revival items that I'm not overly concerned if he gets taken out. It is tempting to use, what is it, a multi-target heal, or even our Protection Sutras, which if Akihiko gets taken out again, I may end up using the Protection Sutras. Let's see here. do I want to stick to... Decisions. This is one of those situations where I'm actually kind of at an impasse on what I want to do. I think what I'll do is I'll switch to Apsaras and set up another cadenza. If Akihiko was taking 150 damage there, hopefully the protagonist has enough HP and defense from his armor to be able to survive. If not, that's just something that I have to tuck away in my brain space for the next attempt at the fight. Okay, Pierce attack, Garula on the protagonist, and okay, not enough endurance on Apsaras to survive that. Alright, made it back to the midpoint, and Akihiko got what I was hoping for, a crit, to put the boss down on its ass, and then we can all-out attack it for a decent bit of damage. Unfortunately, the boss also has Rakukaja, so that mitigates what our attacks are capable of doing. That's also some nasty damage there, but I'm not too worried about that. Nothing from Yukari there. Even with 99 accuracy, you can still miss occasionally. Let me see here. What I want to do is I want to switch over to Alp. I've started working in Yamotsu Shikome into the fight in order to get Tarunda on the boss to make sure that her attacks don't deal terrible damage to us. We're just going to use a Bomb of Life on Akihiko. With the Tarunda in play, the boss doesn't deal anywhere near enough damage to take Akihiko out. Poison is still a pretty obnoxious thing for us to have to deal with, but now that everybody is poisoned, we don't have to worry too much about the boss reapplying it again, so I don't really care at this point. Let me think. I'm pretty sure that it still has one more turn under the Tarunda effect, so we should be able to switch over to Apsaras relatively safely, get the healing up, and survive any attack that it hits us with. We will eventually need to recover some of our SP in this fight with enough cadenzas cast. I actually don't mind too much if the boss uses Rakukaja. Here comes a Pierce attack. Ouch. But that's not a big deal. One thing to note about ailments is that they really screw with the AI in terms of healing. The AI loves using HP healing skills on people afflicted with poison for some reason. It's really not clear why it's coded like that. They almost never cure ailments properly, even if they have the means to do so. It's pretty stupid. Anyways, the boss's Tarunda is about to wear off, so this is where those protection sutras that I got come in handy. Because once its attack reverts, we can just throw up a protection sutra, not have to worry at all about the damage that it hits us with.
Hang in there.
Here comes another Dia from Yukari. Don't be afraid to hit the rush there. There we go, very nice. Don't be afraid to hit rush in order to deal physical damage. Just completely ignore your character's AI and force them to use a physical attack. It's not a terrible idea. You see, it's getting the all-out attack there is basically the same as getting a crit with Akihiko. Also, what we're going to do here is we're going to use a beat chain here just to get everybody healed up, and we'll see what happens based on what the boss does. Where's my beat chains? Remember, these are no good unused. This is exactly the kind of situation you need all these potent healing items for, so keep them at the ready. Garula from the boss, and that's about the best person they could have used it on. Yukari will commit to doing an attack there. Beautiful. Akihiko will use his Sonic Punch. Sonic Punch falls off pretty... Ah! Beautiful! Beautiful, Akihiko. Love it! Great critical hit there. Another all-out attack, getting a decent 40 damage onto the boss. We've got this pretty well settled at this point. Let me think, though. What do I want to do? We still got one more turn of defense buff. You know what? I'm gonna switch over to Yamotsu Shikome, get the boss's damage down even further. And then when our defense buffs start to cascade and disable, it's not gonna be a big deal. I might, depending on what it does here... Okay, Magarula, let's see. I was gonna say, maybe depending on what I could do, what was gonna happen there, I could work in a cadenza. Actually, you know what? Let's go for a rush here. There we go, there we go. Beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. Our defense is reverting, but that's not a big deal, because the boss will have 2 more turns of having reduced attack. Let's throw in Apsaras, get a cadenza going, and we should be fine. We'll have more than enough HP to survive whatever it throws out. And my party members should also be more than capable of surviving what gets thrown out, because they still have the defense buff in play. That's kind of like that weird staggered nature of how these things work. And she decided to attack Yukari, so no big deal there. Let's have Yukari use a Pierce attack. Akihiko will hopefully use Sonic Punch. Yes, there we go. Nice, nice. We've almost got this. Let me see here. Let's switch over to Alp. And since I've got a free turn here, let's, do I want to heal Akihiko? He might lose out on experience, but you know what? It's not a big deal. Let's use a Zionga gem here. Ah, miss, of course. Okay, Pierce attack. Little scary, but not a big deal. We're fine. Let me think. Maybe I should have used a Protection Sutra there. Alright, we're getting a round of healing from everybody here. Not exactly what I want to see. Let me think. Let's see, the boss should be having their attack buff, or attack debuff expire. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use a Bead Chain. Bit unfortunate that it came out like that. Maybe if I played it a little bit more cleanly, I wouldn't have had to do it like that. But it's just how the turn order ended up falling. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we're going to do a rush on our team. Actually, you know what? Akihiko? Yes. I canceled the rush there. He used just at the HP threshold where he could still use a Sonic Punch. And, of course, he whiffed. Let me think. I think what I want to do here is, let's go with Yamotsu Shikome. As long as the boss doesn't score a crit on me with a Pierce attack, this should be fine. Akihiko might get taken out, but we can just Revival Bead and not have it be a big deal. Or heck, even use my Balm of Life. Or the boss could just Garula me, which is not a big deal. And we're going to rush here. Yeah, rush. Nice! Oh, beautiful finish! Beautiful finish, Akihiko. I could kiss you. I wouldn't even mind, man. I can do it, I can do it. There we go. Boss defeated. Much cleaner than the first attempt. Once I started working the Tarunda in there, it was much easier to stay on top of the damage the boss was dealing.
Its Arcana is the Empress. It's a guardian, so it'll be a difficult fight.
Alright, so our MO for this fight is pretty simple. Also, it is terrible that she gets to go before Junpei, so we might already have some problems to start this fight out, but let's hope that it doesn't go that way. We want to keep this boss as weak as possible, and we're just going to wing for crits. It's a bit easier to deal with the poison in this version of the game than it is in Persona 3 FES, since everybody can use items now. But it's really just not worth it to try for it, because we're just going to get re-poisoned again, so the damage that the poison deals is something that we're just going to have to suck up. And our goal here is to just keep winging for critical hits, and hopefully, after a point, we'll eventually land one. Junpei, for his part, is just going to be guarding the entire fight, and any damage that he's going to contribute, that's going to be via all-out attacks, which, with his two-handed sword and the defense debuff on the boss, that actually is some pretty considerable damage there. And this is where the cadenzas that we got from Tanaka's Amazing Commodities will really come in handy in Persona 3 Portable. No crit there, but we just gotta keep trying for it, because we have a form of multi-targeting healing that also buffs us up slightly. One thing to note that Junpei is going to enjoy here is this is a bit of an obscure mechanic in Persona 4 and Persona 3 Portable that doesn't come up too often, but it'll come into play here. When a character is guarding, they're actually immune to status ailments. Just a weird little way the game works there. Okay, so that damage is pretty nasty, but only Akihiko's really in a dangerous spot right now, so let's once again have Yukari fish for a critical. She didn't get it, but we're still staying on top of things, and let's see here. Let's use these Umugi waters that we got. I could just use a Dia on Akihiko, but we want to use the strongest healing we really have. These items are no good if we don't use them. That's actually really desirable that it did that. It does unfortunately mean that if we do get the critical and the all-out attack, we won't deal as much damage as we would have, but that's not a big deal. Okay, maybe I should have had Yukari heal Akihiko there. Not a big deal. One nice thing about the Persona I have lined up for this fight here is that none of them are vulnerable to wind attacks, so I don't really have to worry too much about that. There is one Persona that would actually be really good if you don't... Oh god, that's terrible. If you don't mind grinding up to level 15, and that is Gur. He's level 15 Persona that resists wind and is pretty potent at this stage of the game. Akihiko no longer has the poison weighing him down. We're gonna have to use the bead chain here just because our HP is so low. Normally I would use cadenza, but that's not really an option right now. So let's see what the boss decides to do. A single target Gorilla is the thing that you really want to see in this fight. That's what you'd like to see it do and stick to, and hopefully it will.
Still alive.
Okay. Let's, have Yukari fish for the critical, and I'll just use another Cadenza here to, top ourselves off, get our evasion rate going. If we're lucky, we'll avoid another attack. If we're not, it's not a big deal. I should hopefully have enough Umugi Waters, or enough multi-targeting healing to outlast the fight going forward. Ideally, it uses stuff that's useless, like Poison Mist and, a single target Garula. Rakukaja, that's not desirable, but it's manageable. Yeah, we can use Sonic Punch here, no problem. I think Sonic Punch has slightly better critical hit chance than Akihiko's basic attacks, so it would be nice to see that if it could land. And let's switch over to Pyrojack, hit the Raccoonda again to get that defense buff purged, and then maybe if we can make it to the next turn as well, then we can apply it again to increase our damage even further. Ooh, that's a bit rough. But nothing we can't handle. Okay, let me think here. I do need to be mindful of what I'm doing. Let's go with the Sonic Punch here. No crit and a miss. That's terrible. Let's see here. What we need is, not a Soma. We should be fine with the Umugi Water. Let's use that. Maybe I should start using some of my multi-targeting attack items, since those deal fixed damage. Really good in fights like this, where the boss is pretty durable. Let's switch over to Yamotsu Shikome, and we'll just lower the boss's offense a little bit. Things are looking a little dicey, and we may have to go for a reattempt here. I'm not really doing great on the damage here. Let's see what we got. Okay, just thinking about how I should approach this here. Let's go for Sonic Punch to start. Okay. And let's see, we're all out of multi-targeting healing items, save for my Soma. So what we're going to want to do is, let's use a Dia on the Fency. Let me think, I gotta be very careful about how I approach this one. Ooh, this is a tricky situation I found myself in. Again, I might have to go for a reattempt here. You know what? Let's just start, you know what? Let's throw caution to the wind. Let's just go all in on offense and see what happens. Okay, that's desirable. That's good, that's good. Okay. Junpei, you're gonna now start partaking in the battle. Ooh, a heavy strike. Beautiful.
Finish it off.
Let's get another item thrown in. This Mazio gem. If we're lucky, it'll shock it. It didn't, but that's okay. We'll throw in a Mabufu gem here. Okay. Oof. This is gonna be close. Let me think. You know what? Let's use the Soma here. I know somebody's going to be really upset that I just did that, but I think with how the fight is looking now, we're in position to potentially win. Junpei's gonna get taken out here, but that's not a big deal. Yeah, there goes Junpei. Okay, now Sonic Punch. Akihiko, please get a crit. It's good damage at least. Let's go for the Toy Bow. Luckily, we never really have to worry too much about the Toy Bow missing. And let's switch over to Jack Frost. And let's go for a Bufu here. Hopefully, this is enough damage to finish the fight. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Yes! Haha! There we go. Beautiful. That was not the cleanest way that could have gone, but it was good enough. We got our fight completed. We got a level up for Akihiko. All is good with the world. Now, let's see here. Do I have any revival beads left for Junpei? I don't think I got any more. Alright, let's, I actually don't know what the treasure is at this point, so maybe we'll get a Balm of Life, 2 Triesto gems, and a Soma. Place the one that I lost. Unfortunately, Junpei is going to be put in the tired status, which actually is a little unfortunate for what I was planning on doing, but it's not a huge deal. Now I can just continue on through the relatively uneventful floors to get to the top of this section of Tartarus. Let's switch back over to FES and clear that out. Alright, so we can assume that those tables that are on fire probably are not weak to fire spells. Let's go for a Magaru here, just to spread some damage around, see if we hit any weaknesses. Unfortunately, no. Garula from the Magus there, and that just immediately took out Junpei. Pretty unfortunate for him, but we'll be able to get him back in soon enough. The Poisma, on the other hand, now that's pretty irritating. So let's presume that these guys here are indeed weak to ice. And yeah, saw that coming with, we're gonna take a ton of poison damage. Unfortunately, one more is trigger poison damage, which is not something that you have to worry about in Persona 3 FES and, what is it? Blah, blah, blah. Not something you have to worry about in Persona 3 FES and Portable. And I have no way to cure poison. That's... Oh, no wait, I do. I have the Basudi gem. You know what? I'm gonna take a guess on this, though. Yes, he is, okay. That's something I just needed to confirm right there. Let's see here. So the fire table is gonna go next. Let's use an antibiotic gel on myself. These are actually coming in handy. Still gonna have to suffer the poison damage, but be better than taking whatever these guys throw at us in addition to the poison damage. Ideally, they cast it on me, who resists it, but can't always guarantee that, so we can use the Bufala gem here to get some free damage in and get a turn in. We have to get Junpei back in. We need all the action economy that we can get, so Bomb of Life onto Junpei. Hopefully he doesn't immediately get nailed with Garula again, but that's not always something I can guarantee. Magaru, that's manageable. As long as it doesn't attack Junpei again, it's fine. Oof. The damage is piling on there. Fortunately, I resist fire spells, so I'm not overly concerned about what that does there. Alright, so we need to use the Basudi gem on myself. Super fortunate that I have this at my disposal. And hopefully Junpei's turn comes... I should have surveyed that before I used the Basudi gem. Okay, Foul Breath, that's fine, I can live with that. Alright, so let's take a look at our turn order here. Okay, Yukari will come up next, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use one of my Bufala gems here. Hit that guy. Then I'm going to pass it over to the protagonist. Now that he's not poisoned, I don't have to worry about that damage tacking on. We'll use a Bufu to knock this guy down. And then Zio, the Magus here, or Magus, or however you pronounce that word. And do an all-out attack just to get a ton of damage in. And then when Yukari's turn comes around, I'll use a Bufala gem on whichever table is the weakest, and then I'll have her use an Umuki water to heal us up. Okay, so one of them still hangs in there, but that's fine. Actually, you know what? I can use the Bufala gem on this one. There we go. Then I can pass it to the protagonist, and this is the kind of things that you can pull off by shifting, is getting way more out of your actions by doing it intelligently. Knock this guy down, then cast Zio on the Magus, then use the Umugi water, so I got a bunch of damage in with no real risk to my party. Pretty good, pretty good. Alright, now that we've gotten those things out of the way, we should have this fight in the bag. There's a chance Junpei will get taken out here, but we do have a revival bead at our disposal, so I can still bring him back in. Hopefully they use like a Garu on Yukari. Now, they know full well that Junpei is the weak link here. Fortunately, they don't know it well enough to just stick to hitting Junpei there. I'm gonna think about what I want to do here. I think the smart thing to do would actually be to weaken it, so that when it does inevitably hit Junpei again, it doesn't knock him, or when it knocks him flat on his ass, he won't be too vulnerable to damage. Let's just have Junpei do a... Oh, nice! A Dizzy! Very lucky there. That allows me to get a very good control on this fight. Okay, Heretic Magus can't get up. And we'll hit it with Zio once again, just to get the good damage in there. I could Raccoonda this guy at this point, just to tack on even more damage. Let's see. Junpei is in the clear now. Let's use stronger attacks like Power Slash. There we go. Always nice when Junpei gets a critical. Yukari's better off just shooting it with her bow. Saves her a little bit of SP as well. This is probably going to... Oh, no. Didn't go for Junpei. Very nice. Very helpful to me, in fact. And then we'll Zio it. And yeah, that's one of the nice things about the Dizzy status, is sometimes you can knock the enemy down and then Dizzy it with anything, not specifically its weakness. Kind of prefer how it works in Portable, where you're just guaranteed to get Dizzy if you hit a weakness twice, but can't get everything. Not that ailments were really much of a factor, but now Junpei is no longer worrying about them. Oh dear. Better Media here. Always go with the safe option. Whenever I play risky in Persona games, I always end up just suffering a ton of trouble for doing that. Fortunately, it did not decide to attack Junpei, so we've got this fight in the bag. It's done and dusted.
Now let's move on.
And we get a huge bonus of experience for our efforts.
Not bad.
You did an excellent job, especially against such a strong enemy. The same can be said about the battle with the large shadow. I'm surprised at how fast you've all improved. It's definitely all natural-born talent. I think I'll make it all the way to the top at this rate. You always get so carried away, but if you're aiming for the top, I guess I'll tag along for the ride. Heh, I see you're all as dependable as ever. There may not be a need for Akihiko or me to join your battles, though Akihiko wouldn't be very happy about that. Haha, I'd pay to see Sonata-san pouting. It'd be hilarious. That's rich coming from you. What awaits us is an unknown frontier. All of you proceed with caution. Alright, continuing on.
Run into some pretty tough enemies, but they spice things up every now and then.
We get Chewing Soul here, very nice, but this is not the end of our travails in Persona 3 Reload. Because we've got another boss fight.
Careful.
I'm detecting a powerful enemy up ahead. Everyone stay sharp.
Don't tell me.
These battles are just going to keep coming. Hang in there. I'm picking up another border floor. It's 7 floors from here. I suppose that means this is a border guard in a manner of speaking. We've got our work cut out for us. I'm counting on you. Alright, we better go in fully healed. And also, let's use a Snuff Soul on myself to make sure I don't run out of SP. And let's go into the boss fight here and see what we got. It's enemy territory up ahead. Are you ready for battle? Ready as I'll ever be. Looks tougher than I thought, but ain't nothing stopping me.
Detecting 3 targets.
Ooh, okay, so this guy is, his plan is to up our critical hit rate, which could potentially work out for Junpei. Let me see here. I want to think carefully about my options here. Let's just go with Magaru, spread some damage around, see what we get. These guys are more than likely going to go for nasty physical attacks on us. Single shot, saw that coming. Ow!
You've been knocked down. Get up quickly.
That was brutal. Okay, yeah, we absolutely need to use an antibiotic gel on the protagonist there. Yeesh, that was rough. Normally I'd have Junpei go for a vacuum slash there just to see if he could get a critical hit. Oof, thank God that wasn't a critical. Being downed also increases the damage that we take. Let's see. You know what? Let's take Pyrojack for a spin. I've got a feeling here. No, feeling was wrong. Okay, Bewilder. Oh, no, we cannot have that distress persist. Yukari, get that off of me pronto. I will guaranteed eat a crit if I do not cure that. And they are going all in on hitting the protagonist. Yeesh. Okay, here's where Junpei thrives. With Revolution in effect, he is very likely to score critical blows here. Let's go again. See if we get lucky again. No. Didn't get lucky twice there. Here comes another single shot. Okay. Things are getting a little spicy here. Let's see. I wonder if these guys are weak to Koha. Yes! As a matter of fact, they are. Good thing I got that on the Pyrojack. Not that it really matters. It's just a happy coincidence. I'll be honest, I am tempted to go for the all-out attack here. But that thing is going to act, and I don't fully know what it can do. So it's just smarter to use the Imugi Water here. Get a bunch of HP back. Okay. Here comes Bewilder. Okay, so that's all he was going to do. Let's see here. We'll definitely want to Patra that off of Junpei. Now, if Junpei can score another crit when his turn comes around... Let's see here. Okay, that's lucky, that's lucky. Come on, Junpei. Yes! Critical hit! I hope it's on the dice. Yes! As a matter of fact, it was. That's beautiful. Okay, this got a little perilous at the start, and I will admit I got a little lucky because they didn't decide to focus fire the protagonist. But we hung in there. Good stuff, good stuff. Alright. Show this guy what for. And I'm taking a guess on this, but dice are so often weak to Zeo in this game. Let's just see. Nah, no such luck. And Effective Revolution has ended, but he just re-ups that right away. So what we're going to do at this point is I'm going to have Yukari heal us up as much as she can. And we are going to have Junpei go for physical attacks just to see if he can land another crit. No crit there, but I'm going to join in on the onslaught. So let's see, we've got this Valkyrie that I fused, who can deliver some decent power slashes. Alright, he's joining in on the Critapalooza here. Might be worth it to cast Tarunda on this guy. Come on, Junpei, get the crit. Ah, miss. You know what, as a matter of fact, better safe than sorry. Let's weaken this guy a little bit, and that should keep us in the fight pretty cleanly. And he's just going with the bashes. Junpei dodges, and we can just go all in on trying to get crits here. Damn it, Junpei. Ah, I was hoping that would be a crit. Revolution has ended, but he just re-ups it immediately, because that's his game plan. Works for me, works for me. Okay, no go there. Let's power slash again. Come on, Junpei, hit! Hit, but no crit. Not having good luck with the crits, unfortunately. Fortunately, he is not either. There we go, easy peasy. A little scary at the start there, but we handled it pretty well. So we got the Clairvoyant Relic. Let's just hit it with Agi to start. And we'll slowly go through and... Okay, the Clairvoyant Relic identified weaknesses. When you get that message, have everyone guard. And let's see what it does. Okay, it's starting with Zionga. So pay attention to the order that it uses its attacks in. Or rather, pay attention to the first attack it uses, then have everyone guard. And then pay attention to the next attack that it uses. Okay, Bufala going after Junpei. And let's use Medea here. Let's see, so use Zionga, use Bufala. Let's have Junpei guard. And what does the protagonist have on? He has it on Jack-o'-lantern. Let's go for something that doesn't have an elemental weakness, which conveniently Tom Lin does not. We can hit this thing with a power slash. There we go. There it goes, uses Garula, right at Junpei, as I expected. Okay, now we'll have Yukari guard again. We'll have Junpei do a power slash on it. And of course, we'll have Tom Lin also do a power slash on it. And it's back to using Zionga again. So the way this fight works is that it tries to hit the weakness of every party member that you have, and it kind of assumes that you're just going to be bringing Akihiko to this fight, which obviously we aren't. So it uselessly casts Bufala, which Akihiko is weak to. Obviously, he has an ice weakness. So, as long as we guard on the turns where it's going to use something that we're weak to, this boss essentially does nothing to us. Oh, well, okay, perhaps saying it does nothing to us is a bit of a, oversimplification. It can't do too much to us as long as it's not attacking it, or we have the person that is weak guarding on the turn that it's attacking their weakness. And if we get lucky, we'll eventually knock it down with a crit or something. Here it attacks Junpei. Next up it's going to attack Yukari, so we'll have her guard.
What's next?
And we'll just have Junpei power slash. I think the smart thing to do would be to work in some Tarundas and Rakundas to get this fight going at a better rate. Let me see here. Who do I have that has Tarunda and Rakunda? We've got Oberon, so I just have to switch off of it on turns where it's going to be using Bufala. Easy enough, easy enough. Here comes the Zionga. Yukari guards that no problem. The Bufala will be coming up next, and now that I've reduced its attack power, that won't deal anything serious to us, so we should be able to weather that damage no problem. And then, yeah, this fight becomes pretty simple once you know the gimmick to it. It's gonna be a bit slow, because we're kind of intended to take this fight on with 4 party members, and we're taking it on with 3, but so it goes, so it goes. Here comes the Bufala, and I switched off, so that does little to us. We need to have Junpei guard this turn, because it's gonna be coming for him. And yeah, it just kind of goes like this, so I'm honestly not going to bore you with the details of this fight, because it's a pretty repetitive one, and it's going to take a while with the fact that I just have I'm understaffed here, especially when I miss, so you've already seen the strategy for this fight. We're just going to keep whittling it down until eventually it falls over.
Can't stop me, persona.
I'll go with.
Alright, after a very slow and boring battle, I have taken down the Clairvoyant Relic. I did use a couple of my attack items to speed the fight up slightly, but at 100 damage a pop, it really can't help you that much.
I'll try and find out the enemy's weakness. Just let me know when.
Starting things off, we'll be taking this boss on in FES, and this boss is quite easy. Also, I'd like to comment on, for some people, what might be a bit of an elephant in the room. Yeah, Fuka's voice acting is a little notorious in this version of the game. I actually don't mind it that much. I think it's actually kind of weirdly fitting. Fuka is generally portrayed as a pretty shy and awkward person, so it kind of makes... It works in a weird way that she's a little listless. Anyways, this fight is really, really easy in Persona 3 FES, and to a lesser extent portable. In the beginning of the fight, the Empress is vulnerable to all types of physical attacks. The Emperor is vulnerable to all types of elemental magic. We want to scan the Emperor.
Just give me some time.
Fuka will be able to pull the full list of weakness and resistances for the bosses. Now, what we want to do is we want to have Akihiko and Junpei target the Empress. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the Empress with a power cleave from, what is it here? Valkyrie. And we're just going to immediately knock her out that way, having the,
The enemy is down.
what is it? The speed enhancer equipped really helps with that. We've also got the auto Tarukaja. Both Akihiko and Junpei have power enhancers, so when they get a chance to attack, their attacks are going to deal very good damage. Now, from the side quests that we did, we got those Bufala gems. This is stronger magic, and I think these benefit from Ice Boost. I'm not sure on that. They definitely don't in Persona 3 Portable, but they might in Persona 3 FES. It's not a huge deal. They're stronger than Bufu regardless. And we hit them with all that. Now, Junpei knows that the Empress over here is weak to slash attacks, so he's going to hit her with that. There we go. And he's just going to finish her right off. Now, if we're lucky, Akihiko will Zio the Emperor on the right there and take him out, or possibly Fuka's scan will go through. Let's see what happens. Yes! Okay, we already won this fight. Akihiko's gonna Zio it. One thing to note about the AI in this game is that if they don't know the enemy's exact weaknesses or resistances, you can bet your bottom dollar they're going to first attack the enemy with the thing that they resist. That's just what they're programmed to do. If they do happen to know the weakness, either because you scan the enemy or you hit them with something they're weak to and they happen to have that, they will use it then. So they're smart in that way and dumb in another. Regardless, we've already won this fight. That was handled exactly how I wanted it to be. It is kind of annoying that I had to go to Tartarus to revise my equipment a little bit to get this setup right, but yes, you are right, Fuka, that was indeed amazing.
I'll try and find out the enemy's weakness. Just let me know when.
Alright, coming into Persona 3 Portable, this fight is more or less the same as it is in Persona 3 FES, though we don't really have the overwhelming strength of our all-out attacks that we did in FES, but I do have much stronger abilities at my disposal. In particular, Neko Shogun with his Double Fang skill can deal some amazing damage to the Empress over there. Now let's see, do I have any attacking items? Unfortunately, no, so that does mean we'll have to switch off of Neko Shogun in order to hit the Emperor's elemental weaknesses, which our best option for that would be Jack, or Pyro Jack over here. So let's switch off to him, and let's nail a fire weakness on this guy.
Persona!
And what we're going to do is we're just going to
Found the enemy's weakness.
do our all-out attacks, and then just have our party members knock them down again, do another all-out attack, and we should be able to at least take out the Emperor. Oh, wow. That did a lot more than I was expecting, I'm going to be honest. Alright, so we might actually have this more in the bag than I thought. Junpei will knock down the Empress once again. We will go for an Agi on the Emperor. Not going to be quite as powerful as an Agi from Pyrojack, but still good enough for our purposes because it still enables an all-out attack. This will definitely defeat the Empress. Okay, so this is turning out to be even easier than I thought. I figured they'd at least get a chance to do something, but it looks like that all-out attack there might have just clinched it for us. No? Okay. Well, I didn't need that Thunder Bracers for Akihiko, but it makes this final strike all the more satisfying. There we go. Victory for us, I guess. Time for a much more complicated version of this fight.
I'll begin searching for the monster's weaknesses. Please give me some time.
And now time for the battle in Reload, and it's pretty similar to how it works in Persona 3 FES and Portable, though we do get a chance to see some of Fuka's new mechanics in this version of the game. First off, of course, is that she does not do the scan-based analysis that exists in FES and Portable, and instead has the weakness tracking. But you may notice that little full analysis thing in the bottom there. That'll come up once we're done with our first turn. Anyway, let's go for some attacks here, see if we can get anything that actually works on these guys. And nothing going there. Let's do Zio on this guy over here. And yes, that does indeed knock him on his ass, so we're good there. Which means I have a theory about what might actually hit the boss on the left there. So let's go for single shot on the Empress. And yes, she is weak to the Pierce type attack. Let's now try and weaken these guys a little bit. What I want to do is, let's switch over to Oberon, and let's get a Tarunda on the Emperor. If we can, we'd really like to weaken these guys so that they aren't hitting us too badly. We do have quite a bit of HP to work with, but unfortunately Akihiko is under-leveled, and Junpei, well, he's not too great against these guys. Here comes a Tempest Slash from the Emperor. And luckily, Akihiko just dodges entirely for us there.
I can start the analysis at any time.
Alright, let's get into it then.
Please tell me when to activate it.
Well, I see no time like the present, Fuka. So, Fuka's new ability is Full Analysis. Press the select button while on the Analyze screen to use Fuka's skill, Full Analysis. Doing so will use up her SP. Yes, Fuka has usable SP in this version of the game. Carrying out a full analysis will reveal the enemy's weaknesses. Use it to battle more effectively. Note that a full analysis can only be done after everyone, both allies and enemies, has ended their turn in the first round. So, once a turn of battle has advanced, we can scan the enemies.
I didn't know I had this kind of power.
And we can get their full set of weaknesses and resistances. Now, we've already figured out what the Empress is weak to, and it's a good idea to just deal with that. Let me see here. First off, we want to Zio this guy over here. Or rather, we're just going to ignore her for the time being, or... You know what, I'm just trying to think of what I want to do here. The flow of this battle is a little bit different to how it is in the other versions of the game, so I'm always a little indecisive about how I want to approach this one. But I think, actually, the best thing to do here would be to do the all-out attack. And I'm actually going to have Junpei just go ahead and use an Umugi Water to recover some HP for the entire party. Let's see here. Or actually, no, a Cure Water. That should be good enough for him. Then what we'll do is we'll have Akihiko do a Zio on the Emperor over here, pass it back to me, and then we can do another single shot and continue on with the all-out attack assault. There we go. This is going pretty well so far. We do want to be mindful of when the Emperor's Tarunda wears off, but we should be pretty fine otherwise. There we go, making good progress on them here. Paradigm Shift. Alright, so something that I honestly forget if they can do this in Persona 3 FES or Portable. Yeah, but they've been changing their affinities. If they do this in Persona 3 FES and Portable, the fight will not go on long enough for you to see that happen. Okay, so the one on the right is weak to ice, which might actually work out for us. Let me see what I got here. No, unfortunately I don't have any more ice boost Persona, but that's not a big deal. Let's go with Bufu on Valkyrie. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Tarunda on the Empress over there to weaken her, and luckily for us, Junpei just so happens to have some strike-based skills, so we can hit her, knock her down, do another all-out attack, then we'll get to Akihiko's turn. He also has the more powerful Assault Dive now, so that's very nice. Oh, look at that damage! I'm honestly really tempted to just do the Assault Dive again, because that would be like 140 damage there. But actually, you know what? I think I've got a good idea here. Let's use one of our Mabufu gems. This will allow me to knock down the Emperor with Akihiko, then pass it back to Junpei. Now he can Assault Dive, get that huge damage on the Empress, and we can get another all-out attack on both of them. There we go. This is looking pretty good here. Heck yeah, let's go for it, guys. Okay. Next order of business. Okay, Fire Break coming out from the Empress. That nullifies all our fire resistance, but I'm not too worried about that. Here comes, nice! Lucky! That was not a planned thing there. We're also, I'm wondering. I think, actually, I was gonna Tarunda the Emperor again, but we might actually be able to end this turn. So let's do Assault Dive on the Empress. Nice. And I'm just thinking, I got one more Mabufu gem, so we can wrap back around to the protagonist and keep the Tarunda up on the Emperor. Let's see there, okay. Next up, we want to do Assault Dive on the Empress again. There we go. Okay, so that's one down. And then we want to pass back to me. We'll do Tarunda on the Emperor. Well, actually, first we'll knock him down. Then we'll do Tarunda on him. Go for that free damage there, but not go for the all-out attack. And let me see. I want to use a medical powder on Junpei over there. Okay, there we go. And then we can use the Mabufu gem on him. Get a nice, cool 50 damage. No pun intended. Oof, that was rough. But that's okay. We've got this fight in the bag. Got a little careless there. Junpei was pretty close to dying, but nothing too bad.
This is not just a random shadow. It seems to be guarding this area.
And very uniquely, we've got 3 Emperor Beetles here, and this fight starts out with them getting a first strike. This is one of the only fights I can think of in the game where, or one of the only boss fights I can think of, where this is a thing that happens. What we want to do here is we want to set Akihiko to knockdown, we want to scan these guys, and we want to take note of our turn order here. Okay, that's actually good to know, because that means I don't want to do anything against these guys. I want Yukari and Mitsuru to do nothing, and you'll have seen over there that Akihiko is the last in the turn order. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Mitsuru and Yukari do nothing, and we are going to switch over to Oberon, and we are just going to blast away with Mazio. With Auto Sukukaja in effect, we shouldn't have to worry too much about our attacks missing, and we didn't. Okay, let me think here. We'll relent on that.
You say so.
Is there anything else I can do here? Not really. So honestly, I'm just gonna wait. And this is now where we're going to make use of our new knockdown tactic. Regardless of if Fuka's scan completes before Akihiko's turn comes around or not, Akihiko knows that these enemies are weak to elect, and he's set to knockdown. So he will use his Zeo spells to knock them down as long as he's in that attack tactic. Should we, just for the sake of argument, should we cancel the all-out attack when a character is in knockdown? They will not proceed to act unless they like have the opportunity to heal a character or something. They will just do nothing. Now, depending on how much damage this all-out attack we're about to launch does, which it will probably deal quite a bit, because we've got 3 auto-Tarukajas in effect, and these guys take pretty good damage from all-out attacks. I may just be able to blast... Oh, or we could just win. I was gonna say, I may just be able to blast them with Mazio again, and we can win the fight that way. Or we could just win outright. Very easy fight if you come prepared.
This is not just a random shadow. It seems to be guarding this area.
And much like in Persona 3 FES, this is another fight where, one of the few boss fights where the enemy gets to go first. Although in this case, they do not get to go in rapid succession, which I need to actually make note of that. That one on the right over there, right next to Junpei, he has not gone yet, so that's actually going to influence how this fight goes. Now, this fight is broadly the same as it is in Persona 3 FES. I just want to be a little bit more selective about how I approach this. But I think... let me see here. I just want to try something real quick. I want to hit these guys with a single target Zeo, which, unfortunately, in this version of the game, speed enhancers are not a thing at the moment, so I do run the risk of missing some of my shots here, which would be unfortunate, but I'm not overly concerned about it. Going to deny that co-op, because what I actually want to do is I want to hit that final one with the Mazio, and then dizzy these other 2 that are already down. And a friggin' course! I knew that was gonna happen. Well, let's just have Junpei wing an attack and miss. Okay, here we go. Now we can have Akihiko go. This is not how I wanted this to go, but because those guys have already had their turn go, well, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I do need to be very mindful of the turn order here. Okay, that's what I wasn't sure of. As you can see, these guys have a lot more HP in this version of the game, so that did not go nearly as well. So let me check out my items here. No, I do not have one of what would help me here. Well, in that case, let's just have Yukari blast one of these guys. But yeah, I wasn't sure if Dizzy attack or the Dizzy status was purged by the all-out attack going through. It is. Alright, there goes Yukari. But yeah, these guys can be quite dangerous if you are not careful, which I'm not being terribly careful, but it's not a huge deal. Let me think. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna Mazio. You know what? I'm just gonna Dizzy all of these guys, since they're already out of the status. That gives me a free turn to act. And what we're gonna do is we're going to Dizzy them all again. Then we're going to have somebody throw a Bomb of Life at Yukari, which that will be Junpei for this go-around. Oh shit, do I not have any revival items? Whoops! I did not think about that. I knew I was forgetting something. Oh well, that's not a huge deal. I can work around with that. God, I am making a complete mess of this right now. I am not prepared for this at all. Whoops.
Let's go.
This is what keeps this thing exciting, though. God, and they're resistant to everything I can throw at them. Let me try something else. One of the other things I've got rocking around here is Huapo, so we're just going to blast these guys with a Miragi. I might be going for a loss here, though, because I completely... Oh, wow! Okay, that clinches it. Junpei, do this instead. Great, beautiful. Oh, man. Yeah, but Huapo has a fire boost and a very high magic stat, so as you can see, she was able to run roughshod on those guys right there.
Another day on the job.
Alright, I was kind of expecting a little bit more of a start to that, but no, it's just that. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we are actually going to fire off the Oracle. As the game said, the Oracle can heal your HP, heal your SP, or buff up your party. And it actually will weight towards certain options depending on the situation you're in. If everybody has high SP and is at full HP, then Oracle has an incredibly high chance of... buffing up your entire party to the max. So we are looking pretty strong right now. So we don't know what these things are weak to, and I didn't really care to memorize their weaknesses earlier. So let's just have some fun and fire off with the best things we have. Okay, Tarukaja on that guy. We'll have Akihiko just use Tarunda on him to counteract it. I could also use Deikaja to purge it, but I feel like that's kind of overkill, so we'll just go with, ooh, Provoke. Okay, that's on to Mitsuru. That's a little unfortunate there. Actually, alright. Change of plans. We are going to have Akihiko get rid of the rage on Mitsuru. We really don't want her doing anything that would be unhelpful for us. Here comes a Makoga. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Ooh, lucky, lucky, lucky. Okay, okay. Let's try out the other thing I was going to do. Let's go with Miragi here. I'm not sure what those Cupids are weak to, so we're just going to try things out until we find what it is. Now that we've passed a full round of combat, though, Fuka can freely scan the enemy. Of course it was Alek. I had a feeling it was. I also kind of had a feeling of that after I saw the Makoga come out. Let's see here. We've got a few Cure Waters, so let's have Mitsuru get the party healed up a little bit. Once Akihiko's turn comes around, then we will... Okay, here comes the Palinpa. Dodge, dodge, dodge. Yes! Beautiful, beautiful. Let me see here. What I want to do is, we'll just have Yukari... well, actually, you know what? Those Cupids are getting a little weak. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll be able to finish them off. No, not quite, but that's not a big deal. We have Akihiko's big turn coming up here. Alright, so what's that guy's reaction? He reflects that. Wouldn't be a huge deal, but let's be a little bit more decisive in what we do. Or we could just use our Theurgy. Because Theurgies... pierce through resistances, allowing us to bypass things like Reflex. Very, very nice. Alright, let's get Pisaka out and hit this guy down. Now, I would go for the all-out attack, but I'm pretty sure his turn is up next, yeah, so we want to instead just throw up our guard, because we know he's going to have a light spell coming up. Oh, he summons. That's fine, too. I can live with that. Alrighty, so we can hit him with Aha. And we can pass it back to Akihiko and just knock over that Cupid immediately. So let's throw it on back to Akihiko. Get some good damage going around. Get our Theurgies built up as well. Beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. And I think what I want to do here is... yeah, let's do the all-out attack. Why not? Since we had that guy's turn come up anyway. Okay, is the Cupid gonna die? It did. Alright, I'm gonna have to be a little bit careful about how I approach this now, because the protagonist is a little bit vulnerable. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start throwing up our debuffs and finally purge that attack buff off of him with Tarunda, even though it's probably expiring pretty soon. This should make it so anything that he does to us isn't too threatening. If he decides to summon in another Cupid, that is also not a big deal. Okay, Assault Dive, that's more than fine. Not that he even had a chance of hitting us off of that. We'll hit this guy with an Aha. Now, we've gone through 3 rounds of combat, so our buffs are liable to expire if this all-out attack doesn't kill him, but it shouldn't be that big a deal. We can fish for some critical hits with physical attacks if he doesn't die, but he did die.
Be careful.
Hey, still keeping in line with the older Persona games, those guys actually got to go first and use Tarukaja on themselves. Let me see here. What I want to do is, let's hit this boss with Rakunda. As you can see, I'm going into this battle with most of my Theurgies charged. Now, luckily, I actually do have a way to counter those multiple Tarukaja boosts that are coming through. Let's have Akihiko just immediately fire off with Lightning Spike here. No reason not to. If we're lucky, he might even shock something. Yes! Oh boy. And that's actually very useful for Junpei. So I've got all 3 auto buffs on the protagonist now. What we're going to do is we're going to just get rid of those attack buffs by using Deikaja. This is the big use of Deikaja at the moment, is that we can counter multiple buffs at once. Once we get access to multi-targeting debuffs, it's not going to be as big a deal that we have it, but for right now, it's super helpful to us. Anyways, we're going to have Junpei unload with Vacuum Slash. When enemies are shocked like that, that means we have a much higher chance of critting against them, and Whoa! Junpei gets extra Theurgy gauge when he crits. You know what? Let's see Hades Blast. Or is it Hack and Blast? I think it's Hack and Blast. Yeah! Oh my goodness! Junpei! 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 That was wild, my friend. unbelievable. Very, very nice. These guys are weak to wind. I did decide to bring Junpei just for fun, but Yukari would have had some use here. Not that it really matters. We're just kicking these guys around. They are not having a good day right now. Wow, this fight just went about as well as it could have gone. Junpei didn't even enter with his Theurgy gauge fully charged, but between Shock Boost and Akihiko's Theurgy just having such a high chance of shocking the enemy already, he just put these guys in such a terrible position. Junpei was able to eat them up for breakfast, and now the protagonist is able to go at them with Naga's Garu spells. And this is actually quite good, because I wouldn't mind getting the experience onto Naga. If I didn't get the amazing Junpei turn I got there, I probably would have used Jack Bros on them.
This shadow is an emperor. It must be watching over this area.
Alright, this guy, the Intrepid Knight, he can be brutal. So, starting things off, we want to put Akihiko to heal and support, so he'll throw out Tarunda. We want to have Yukari on heal and support, just so that she's always going to be helping out the party. One thing to note is this guy drains wind magic and uses wind magic to attack you, so there's no going in dealing good damage to him that way. Yukari is going to have to stick to physical attacks, which is also problematic because he resists pierce attacks and has the counter-strike ability. So, a couple of things that we have to worry about in regards to that. Starting things out, I'm going to use Cadenza, because obviously even though I don't need the healing, the evasion boost is just so helpful, and it is going to allow us to evade his wind magic pretty frequently. The other things that we have to know about here, whoops, that was not what I intended to do, is that this guy has access to Hama magic, which is pretty unlucky that he just immediately tagged Akihiko with that. But I should have paid attention to my turn order there. If Yukari doesn't know this guy's weakness, he will, or she will, just use wind magic on him right away. If she doesn't know, or if she does know the weakness is set to heal to support, she will not attack it at all, because she will not risk getting counter-struck off of the arrow attacks, nor will she allow, what am I trying to say here? Nor will she obviously attack the wind, or attack with wind spells, because he drains it. Now, this fight, it can be pretty slow and... Ooh, that's very lucky. This fight can be pretty slow and annoying, because this guy has, like, close to 700 hit points, and we deal very, very little damage to him. And unfortunately, every now and again, Mitsuru is just going to waste turns using Marin Karin on him. Pretty infamous trait of hers. If she had Bufala at this point, she'd probably stick to using that. Anyways, Akihiko, since he's on heal and support and he's not under a certain HP threshold, he will use Tarunda on the boss to weaken him, which will help us out considerably. When we don't need Tarunda, in effect, we'll have Akihiko be on Act Freely. For my part, I've got Principality equipped because he nullifies Hama skills, so I don't have to worry about that. What I do have to worry about is his endurance is pretty low. This boss also has access to Garudine, and that can hit us for some pretty heavy damage. Luckily, my Shirt of Chivalry, if I'm at full health, will allow me to avoid the worst of that. With Ice Boost that I have on him from fusing him off of a, oh no wait, it wasn't Barrett, it was Valkyrie. Fused him off of Valkyrie, so he has access to Ice Boost to boost up the effectiveness of those Bufala gems that I can use, giving us a pretty potent damage boost. Of course, we're mostly still going to be reliant on the occasional crit we can get on this guy. And my evasion should be expiring here, yeah. But luckily, unlike other buffs and debuffs, evasion buffs can be refreshed, or rather, evasion via Cadenza can be refreshed just by recasting it. It's been a while since that's been relevant, so I want to reiterate it here. Cadenza is the one buffing effect in the game that you can actually refresh it before it expires, which is what makes it so good. So he's going to use Magarula, which can deal tons of damage. Yeah, very, very nasty. But luckily, with the Tarunda in effect, even with the Mind Charge, we don't have to worry too much about that. What we do need to be mindful of is when Tarunda is expiring on him, because that would be a disaster if he got the Mind Charge Magarula out without us having some form of damage mitigation in play. Let me think about what I want to do here. I think the safest thing to do is to just switch back off the Principality. We'll tag him with another Bufala gem, which again, with the Ice Boost, should deal some decent damage. Yeah, there we go. Okay, he goes for another Hama on Akihiko. Annoying if he hits it, which he didn't. I believe your evasion stat also works against Hama, so you don't have to worry too much about it hitting if you have decent luck, as in the stat, and evasion boosts in effect. This is going pretty well. The big thing that can speed this fight up is if you or Akihiko manages to shock the boss. If that happens to go through, let me think. I want Akihiko actually to debuff this guy. He doesn't have a Mind Charge in effect, so I'm not too worried about him hitting me with anything nasty. But we do want to get that Tarunda up before he has a chance to nail us with a Mind Charge Magarula again, which he is going for. When our turn comes back around, we will equip Orpheus, cadenza everyone again, and we should be fine. If he uses Garudyne and he targets the protagonist, that could be problematic, as you'd imagine, but we'll see if Orpheus has enough defense to overcome that. If not, we have pretty good odds of dodging it. Obviously, this strategy is pretty intensive on the SP, but I have plenty of Chewing Souls and Snuff Souls at this point, so I'm not worried at all about that. I just need to be mindful about when I'm using it. That's the benefit of using those Bufala Gems, is that I'm not using any SP to throw those out, so that's a big boon in conserving SP and saving it for cadenza. Alright, Magarula, that's fine. We should mostly dodge it? Okay, not mostly dodge it. That's actually one of the situations where I'm gonna double tap Cadenza, because that will, that's just the most effective form of healing that we have. And as you can see, our party is just kind of going through the motions of healing. I think I forgot to take Akihiko off of heal support, so he's going for a Dia there again. Fortunately, Akihiko will attack if he has nobody he needs to heal, nor any debuffs to cast, so it's not the end of the world. With this cadenza in effect, we should be pretty good. This will put everybody in a good position in terms of their health, and he doesn't have a Mind Charge up, so we don't have to worry about that either. Alright, let's see what we got coming up. Here comes the Garudyne. This is where Orpheus really comes in clutch. Check that out. That's the power of boosting up Endurance. Endurance is actually a surprisingly valuable stat at this stage of the game. Alright, let me think about what I want to do here. I do need to be mindful here. Let's see. I'm gonna put Akihiko on heal and support because I've lost track of the turn counter there. I'm going to stay on Orpheus, and I am going to use, because Yukari's turn isn't coming up. If he hits me with another Garudyne, I'm screwed, so... Actually, you know what? No, he could tag me with a Hama, so if I get attacked regardless, it's gonna set me back a few turns. Instead, I'm gonna switch to Principality for guard against the Hama, and as long as I get to full health, I don't have to worry about what Garudyne can do to me. God damn, I don't really have any good, I don't really have any good healing. I'm gonna have to use the Imugi Water. Oh, that heals for more than I was expecting. Okay, another Garudyne coming through. If we're lucky, Mitsuru will dodge. If we're unlucky, she won't. That's fine, that's fine. The Tarunda is still in effect, and Akihiko's on heal and support, so they should team up to, him and Yukari should team up to recover his HP a little bit. I'm going to keep Principality equipped here, and then I'm going to hit myself with a Chewing Soul. Let's go with the Chewing Soul. It's better to play it safe than sorry. Who knows if I get unlucky and the fight might drag on for a little bit longer. So let's just get as much SP up as possible. Alright, he's gone for Rakukaja. This is the last thing he can do, and it's just kind of tedious, really. It just extends the fight a little bit. I could switch to something that has Rakunda, but I'm not overly concerned about that. We're just gonna chip him down little by little. You don't want to overcommit or overextend on this fight. Just take it as smoothly and simply as possible. Never assume that a turn's gonna go your way. Alright, luckily I wasn't thrown off of my turn order too badly, so I am able to switch over to Orpheus and get that cadenza back up. There we go. And once again, our superior dodge rate is fully established. I did notice earlier that Tsukukaja and the cadenza evasion buff were in play, so I'm wondering if those stack. I don't really know too much about how cadenza works in terms of its nitty-gritty. I know some of the obscure stuff about it, of course, like the fact that it refreshes, which is not a property of any other buff or debuff in this game. Also, because he's going for, ooh, there we go. That's what I was talking about earlier, with the ability to speed up the fight if he gets a shock. This should actually let us win the fight here, even with the Rakukaja in play. If you're lucky, Akihiko will tag that much earlier. I wasn't too lucky. We've also got a pretty bad... Oh, man. The Rakukaja really neutered that. Here comes the Magarula, but, okay, dodge, dodge. Very nice, very nice.
Hang in there.
maybe I should have just had Yukari rush there. Whatever the case, when it comes back to my turn, I should be able to switch the Principality and just throw out another Bufala gem. If the Rakukaja wasn't in play, we wouldn't have had to worry about that. One thing to note about Shock, and I believe also Freeze, is that they should disable counter skills, in addition to disabling the enemy's defense, so you don't have to worry about those popping off. Fortunately, well, it's not really much of a concern either way, because our strongest attacks are magic anyways, which obviously I don't have to worry about Counter-Strike proccing off of. This won't deal as much damage as it could, but it'll deal... Oh! Does that ignore defense debuffs? I'm wondering if that ignores, what is it? Ice Boost also. There we go. Nice little finisher for Yukari there, in a fight that she otherwise struggles with.
This shadow is an Emperor. It must be watching over this area.
Alright, we've got an interesting battle ahead of us here in Persona 3 Portable, because I really don't have anything good against this guy. Also, for the sake of, well, just variety and not really effectiveness, I'm bringing Junpei, who is also kind of a bad idea for this fight, so I really need to think carefully about what I want to do, because I am in a dire situation when it comes to supplies in Persona 3 Portable, which is going to be not so good for this fight. I really should have bought some cadenzas, or traded for some cadenzas before I came into this fight. This is already off to a bad start. Okay, so one of the big things we really need to hope for is, first off, not missing. Like, that's no good. And then we need to hope that maybe every now and again we get some crits. Oh, jeez. Alright, here's where the fight gets interesting. So, now the mind charges are coming through. We definitely need to lower his attack power, just to make sure that he doesn't take anybody out. Junpei really cannot afford to eat a mind charge attack, especially because the Garulas are multi-targeting, multi-targeting Garulas in this version will still get him a one more. Yukari is mostly going to be focused on... Ooh! That's interesting. I did not consider that being a thing that could happen, but that might actually work to our benefit, believe it or not. Rage is a status we haven't really seen up to this point, but as you can see, it causes the enemy to only use normal physical attacks, and they get to act twice. Normally this works against you, but in a fight like this, that might actually come in handy. I think I just discovered a way to actually make it through this fight with minimal issues. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull out Huapo, and I'm going to blast away with Aguilau. That is the strongest damage-dealing option we have. I'm not going to bother setting up Racunda, because we really don't... Oh my goodness! Well... Huh. That gives me some ideas if this doesn't pan out. So let's have Junpei go for... Oh, whoops, Counter-Strike. Okay, that's something that can happen, so be mindful of that. Yukari is just going to focus on healing the party here. This guy is resistant to wind magic, so that's not a good option for dealing with him. Here comes another one, going for Akihiko. As long as he spreads these out, it's not a big deal. And wow, that's actually surprisingly resilient. Since he has high counter, which is like a 40% chance to reflect an attack back at you at slightly higher damage, we're going to just stick to magic here, which is looking like it's dealing pretty good damage to him. My auto Tarukaja has expired, which is unfortunate, but that's not a big deal. Let me think here. Junpei, what do I want him to do? If only I had some attacking items. Let's go... you know what? I got an idea here. Let's put Rakukaja on the Fency, just to make sure, in case this guy's enragement times out, she doesn't get wiped out with a Mind Charge Garudine or whatever. He's still got one more turn on the Tarunda. Okay, he has recovered. Here comes the Garudine. Fortunately, he decided to wing it at Yukari like an idiot, so that is no problem there. We honestly should be able to finish this guy off with no issues. That was I was actually dreading this fight. I did not know that ailments could work on this guy. I'm not used to that working on bosses in this game, so I just accidentally blundered my way into a really effective way of defeating this guy. That is incredible. I was dreading this. I thought this was going to be the worst version of the fight, and instead I just discovered a new strategy for beating him really easy on the fly. This is one of those rare moments where the boss is more or less the same as he is in Persona 3 FES and Portable. And we are just going to get to work on debuffing this guy. So let's take his defense down. Masakunda coming through, which is a little annoying. but not a big deal because of something that I can just do here. We've got Oracle at the ready, so we can just immediately counter with that and get everybody brought back up to speed. There we go. Now everybody is strong. Kinda invalidates the need for my own auto buffs, but that's not a huge deal. And of course, we absolutely want to weaken this guy. Now, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to have Yukari use Medea, even though it's not really a big deal if she does this or not, but it does build up her Theurgy when she heals somebody, so that makes sure that she's going to go into the next turn with her Theurgy at the ready. We're going to hit this guy with a Zionga, which should deal some decent damage. He's not weak to it, but it's still good enough. Now we can figure out what he might just be weak to, which is nothing! That's okay, though. We've got plenty of powerful skills to unload on this guy with. So we will just blast away, blast away, blast away. Alright, what's he gonna do here? Arrow Rain, that's no big deal. As long as he doesn't get a crit, I should say. Let's see here. So yeah, that's why I want to get Yukari's Theurgy ready, because this guy is immune to wind normally. Yukari's Theurgy will allow her to get around that. Oh, nice! Very well timed. That's going to give this a pretty sizable boost in damage. Once we get the ability to equip Yukari with some wind-boosting accessories and equipment, this Theurgy does a ton of damage, and she actually charges it super, super quick. Oh, dude, we can just go for absolute Theurgy spam here. This is lovely. I love it when I get stuff like this. Alright. Take him down another peg. Unfortunately, did not get the knockdown there. That's like I said, it is unfortunate because that would make this deal so much more damage. Knockdowns are a 50% boost to the damage that you deal to enemies. But again, not a huge deal. Hit him with that, still 257 damage. He's going to Tarukaja himself. What we're going to do here is we're going to have... Ooh. You know what? Screw it. We're going for another Theurgy. Theurgy spam all day, every day. And now we are going into Yukari's main thing to do when she is not able to actually attack the enemy. She's just going to cast Medea ad nauseum, get everybody's HP up, and get a huge amount on her Theurgy gauge. Look at that! That was like a quarter of the gauge there. Let's see here. Do we have anything with Tarunda? I had been keeping a few things with it earlier. There we go. Yes, I made sure to make sure Sandman still has it. If we can get this guy to waste his turns on just purging... the debuff from himself. That is also pretty good. Another good just standby action that Yukari has is that we can just have her, what is it? Use Secunda on the enemy, which can help out quite a bit. Unfortunately, I wasn't paying attention to when his, what is it? His defense debuff was running out. So now we're going to be dealing a lot of less damage because our buffs are also starting to run out. Unfortunate, but not a big deal. So let's, once again, get Medea going up. Get a huge amount on Yukari's Theurgy track. Yeah, that multi-targeting healing just charges that up so quickly. Hell, she might be ready to go in just 3 turns, which is pretty impressive. Let me see here. Actually, I want to switch to, Takemi Nakata, because he is resistant to those pierce skills, so that helps us out quite a bit there. Alright, hit this guy with a Raccoonda, get our damage back up. Unfortunately, it's not really practical to try and reapply any buffs to my party if Oracle happens to charge, which is very unlikely, but in theory, if it did... Oh, wow, look at how much that just mitigated the damage that came in. Yeah, Oracle's definitely not going to recharge before we kill this guy, but it is something to keep in mind for particularly long battles. And once again, just hit the party with a Medea. And that should max it out for her. No, not quite. Okay, so it is more like 4 turns. Definitely looks like it could have maxed out in 3 turns. We got this fight in the bag, though. Even if he does, like, roll a crit on our team, the resistance to his piercing skills from Takemi Nakata just completely neuters the real threat this guy can deal, and we just defeated him with no issue anyway. And we got another Black Quartz, so that's another avenue for getting Black Quartz if you need it. Sticking to tradition, we'll of course start things off with FES, and let's see. Want to make sure everybody is in the proper tactics. I'm going to set Akihiko to heal support so that he can Tarunda the boss to start things out. Yukari really doesn't matter. Junpei, you can either put him in Act Freely or Knockdown to make sure he's just wailing on the boss with physical attacks, or I suppose conserve SP. Junpei has a lot of options for what he wants to do there. I have Rakshasa equipped because Getsue will deal extra slash damage on the full moon, and he has Auto Tarukaja, so we start off with an extra bit of punching power with him in effect. And we have a ton of HP to throw out our physical skills with, so I'm not overly concerned about running into any issues with HP here. As you can see, the only real resistance it has is elect attacks. Well, obviously insta-kills, but that goes without saying. So, let's just get this guy weakened a little bit and see what he has for us. And here comes a Xianga, naturally targeted right at Yukari to start things out, but that's why I got her the Source Bow, so we can help her out with that. One unfortunate thing about Yukari being in the second slot is that means that Junpei cannot go and give her Repatra. Let's see, we're going to set Yukari to heal support, we're going to set Akihiko to knockdown to make sure he's using his physical attacks, so he shouldn't use, what is it? Zio, now that he knows that it's resistant to elect attacks. And this will often be a problem for Yukari here, is that she just has no choice but to get back up after being knocked down. One other problem that we're going to run into that isn't a huge deal but is worth keeping in mind is that Orpheus is also weak to elect skills, so bringing him out to use Cadenza is not necessarily a good idea. As you can see, pretty much no-sell that damage there with all the HP I have, and as long as Yukari is consistently healing us, which, let's see, who's she gonna heal? She's probably gonna hit Junpei. Unfortunately, I don't think Yukari has, what is it, Medea yet in this version of the game. Alright, hit with another Sonic Punch. The Tarunda should persist for another turn, so I shouldn't have to worry about using it there. If we're lucky, okay, I ignored Yukari. Alright, what I'm gonna do here is, I'm gonna hit everybody with a, let me see, I'm pretty sure I traded for a bunch of these. Yes, a Fierce Sutra. As you can see, I got a ton of these in preparation for these boss fights. This hits the entire party with Tarukaja, bringing up all our attack. Oh, right, they had power enhancers. No wonders they were doing such good damage. I should have waited until the next turn to use that. I'm forgetting my own strategies here. It's tough to keep track of this across 3 games, okay? Oh well, at least it's still in effect for me. And that's all that really matters, right? And I believe it's going to expire next turn, the enemy's Tarunda. No, right now. Okay, so we'll need to have Akihiko give that one another shot. Luckily, Akihiko is functionally immune to that, so we don't have to worry too much about that. Let's send the heal support. Not super necessary, but good idea to just err on the side of caution. Yeah, let's go for Getsue. Whatever this thing does to me, I can survive it once the Tarunda goes through, so I'm not overly concerned about it. We might even honestly finish it this turn. It's not a terribly difficult fight in this version of the game. Another Assault Dive from Junpei, which does pretty good damage at this stage of the game. Unfortunately, his attack boost is expired, so not really able to get too much out of that. Alright, this thing will hit us with yet another Xianga, but it's going to Junpei, and that's not a big deal. This Getsue should come pretty close to finishing it off. Maybe I should have just had Yukari. Well, actually, no, she has the Source Longbow. What am I talking about? She wouldn't be able to do anything with that. And Junpei, as you can see, that is kind of the power of fused weapons there. His physical attack strike is not that much weaker than Assault Dive, and later in the game, physical attacks are just going to...
Be careful. The enemy is a Hierophant.
Moving on into Portable, we're just going to open up immediately. First I'm going to switch to Hwapo. I carded an Auto Tarukaja onto that Ares, so we have a little bit more attack power going into this. We're then going to want to hit this guy with Tarunda, then Tarunda, because his damage is quite high. We're going to have Yukari just guard for most of these turns for 2 reasons. The one is the obvious one. Also, whoops, I forgot to change Mitsuru's tactics there. That's the same exact thing that happened in a practice run I was doing in this fight, for reasons we'll get into later. But let's just have Akihiko hit this thing with Tarunda. That'll minimize its damage quite a bit. Here comes a Prophecy of Ruin. Now, I had Yukari guard there. Okay, yeah, the worst happened. Hopefully we don't lose our turn. If I do, okay, that's great. Fear has a 50% chance of costing us a turn, but the reason I had Yukari guard there is that gives her a 100% chance to... Oh, I forgot to change my tactics too. Oh, well, that's not a big deal. I can do it next turn. But as I was trying to say, that gives her a 100% chance of evading a status effect. So that allows her to use the Maypatra gems that we have in order to just heal up everybody real quick.
Obey my command!
Fortunately, Mitsuru is doing what I was going to have her do anyway, and let's have Akihiko just use his Jack Fists, honestly. That's probably more effective than the other things I could have him do. Alright, good, go for Akihiko there. Let me go get my tactics finally corrected. I haven't actually used Mitsuru, which means she's pretty, shall we say, unideal for this fight, but I'm bringing her along for fun anyway, and also because going forward in Persona 3 Portable, I'd like to bring all the female members of SEAS along for the ride. I'm going to have dedicated teams for FES and Portable. Well, I'm going to keep things a little bit more flexible in Reload. Dig shot? That's fine, actually. I'm not too pressed about that. Alright, so let's hit him with Agilao, and I actually have a backup for that. Now, one thing that kind of came back to bite me with getting as many sword cards as possible is that for the best sword cards, you need Amethyst. So I wasn't able to get cadenzas, because Amethyst are the secondary ingredient for cadenzas. I'll try to avoid making mistakes like that going forward. One thing I didn't make a mistake on, though, is I used some of my Amethyst to get Fierce Sutras, so we can bring up our attack power quite a bit. Alright, here we go. There is a chance that the FEMC will miss her turn. And we're going to go for a Rakunda here. Okay, I've been having pretty good luck with that. Now Yukari's going to have to drop her guard to get everybody powered up. Or cured, I should say. So there is a chance that she'll get tagged with the Zionga, but Akihiko's going to have a chance to get the Tarunda in anyway, so that's not a huge deal. Mitsuru should deal a little bit better damage here with the Tarukaja and Tarunda in effect, or she could miss. There you go, Mitsuru, you are living up to your destiny. It's probably my fault for not using her too much. She also doesn't have Bufala, so her damage dealing options are quite dire. One nice thing is that you can tell who the boss is targeting slightly, based on who they turn to face when they attack. If he was turning to the right there, I know he's going for the FEMC or Mitsuru. Turning out to not really need that much of the HP that I have. Alright, let's go for a Garden here. May as well get in a little bit of damage with Yukari. Not bad, not bad. She doesn't even have a wind boost there, but her huge magic advantage over Mitsuru at the present does give her a little bit more of a damage boost there. Very nice.
This large shadow is of the Hierophant Arcana.
Yukari taking a quick opportunity to break the fourth wall a little there. Let's see here. We're just going to immediately switch over to power here, and we are going to use a torrent shot on it. If we're lucky, we'll get the 4 hits. Even if not, that's still... Wow! Look at that damage. Very good, very good. And I'm also going to just spend my turns just fully debuffing this guy. This is one benefit of the party that I took, is that we have access to all 3 varieties of debuffs, so we can just have everybody take a round to weaken this guy heavily. This guy has fear-inflicting attacks, as well as elect-based attacks. Definitely something that's a little precarious for Yukari. She'll want to be careful when dealing with that. There's also some light-based attacks incoming, which isn't that big a deal for the protagonist, since we have power on him. Let's see, Yukari is probably just going to skip or stick to using Medea, unless she has her Theurgy in the bank. Otherwise, I think it's just a good idea to keep having her spread the healing around. You know what, I'm just gonna have Akihiko stick to strike or sonic punches. We don't really have the ability to bring up his elect damage at this point. It'll be a little while before we have a way to increase that a lot. Alright, here comes Doomsday Doctrine. Okay, that is a lot of fear on everybody.
Seems to instill fear in its opponents. You'll be paralyzed if you succumb to the fear. Don't push yourself and try to calm down. Yukari-chan.
Alright, let's take a look at what we've got in our inventory here. So we got a bunch of Dyspheres and some Patra gems. Let's Patra up Yukari, and I forget, does she have Maypatra yet? That would be really helpful if she actually had that, but I forget if she's learned it by now. Unfortunately, no. But she does have her own Patra, which is actually pretty important. We want to be able to cast the singular Patra to conserve our items, because once we run out of items, we won't have ways for anybody but Yukari to cure fear. You also notice there that the protagonist dodged the Doomsday Doctrine. I think he's coded to just always do that with that first one. And here comes an assault dive. Nothing I'm too... Ooh! I was gonna say not anything I'm too afraid of, but that crit was a little nasty. What is with this? Okay, ow. That was unfortunate, to say the least. Let me see here. Is this stuff about to time out? Yeah. When the debuffs start flashing, that means it's about to time out. So let's take a look at our items here. Definitely want to use an Umugi water up after that, because we want to get the debuffs back up and running. We definitely don't want those to expire. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to have the maximized damage the entire fight, because my auto buffs have worn off, and it's not really worth my time to try and set up anymore. I'll take a look to see if I have a mantra, possibly, to inflate or use Mata Rukaja on everyone. That would definitely be helpful. And then get the Racunda. We're definitely going to pop off with some Theurgies next turn, unless we're in a really bad situation, although I can probably just substitute Yukari's healing for Umugi Waters with Akihiko. Alright, first thing I want to check out here, do I have a Fierce Sutra, possibly? As a matter of fact, I do, so it would actually be in our best interest to use this. And like I said, now we're going to start popping off with Theurgy, so let's go for a Cyclone Arrow here. Oh, you know, I should have checked, I should have had Fuka scan him to check his weakness, but look at how much damage that's dealing, and that's just with buffs and debuffs in effect. Once we actually get some wind boosting equipment for Yukari in this version of the game, we'll be able to get a huge amount of extra damage out of that. Okay, I kind of figured that's what we were looking at for this guy, but always a good idea to make sure. Indeed, Akihiko, indeed. Now, let's have Mitsuru fire off with hers. We've also got Fuka's Oracle in the tank, which I may use after the Fierce Sutra wears off. Alright, what do we got on this one? Not bad, not bad. Alright, another Doomsday Doctrine inbound. Alright, looks like that's guaranteed fear on everyone. Bit unfortunate, but nothing that we can't handle. Once again, we just want to do the same thing. A round of Patras to clear that on everybody. Get Akihiko cured up, because he's next in line. Then he can use a Dysphere or a Patra Gem on Mitsuru, and then Mitsuru can fire off with just a little bit more damage. I think next turn we'll have to extend the debuffs again. One thing you'll note about bosses in Persona 3 Reload, particularly the Full Moon bosses, is that they are a lot sturdier than the bosses in Persona 3 FES and Persona 3 Portable. Yeah, those are starting to wear off. Not something I need to have the protagonist participate on. I can just stick straight to using Torrent Shot there. I might actually save my Oracle, because you might be surprised to learn this, but this is not the only fight we're going to have to be dealing with tonight. Just FYI, this guy with the Tarunda. And you know what? We'll fire off more Theurgies next turn. He's probably going to do something like Makoha again, at which point I can just have Yukari get that damage mitigated. It is so nice to be able to just reapply debuffs. That was one of my favorite changes that they introduced in Persona 3 Golden. Or Persona 4 Golden, I'm being silly here. That was not the right name at all. Let's go for a Jack Brothers here. Not going to be as strong as it could be because the attack buff is starting to wear off, but I don't think the Oracle would be well spent here. So we'll hit him with the Jack Brothers. If we're lucky, we'll get the knockdown. Yes, we did. This is actually very fortunate because we're going to get the all-out attack with everybody still having their Mata Rukaja in effect, which I think will be slightly more effective than just going to Akihiko and having him use the Theurgy on the downed opponent. Better safe than sorry. We're going to have Yukari Medea us up here, and that'll also get her a little bit back on her Theurgy gauge. Pretty good amount, actually. Alright, Akihiko, finish this fool off. The double feature continues in FES first, with the Lovers.
It's the
Huh, I'm not familiar with that Arcana, Fuka. Anyways, let's get the Lovers scanned, and let's continue as we were before. I want Akihiko to stay heal and support. Now that Yukari does not have to worry about her weakness being hit, this thing that has nothing that is of much harm to Yukari, we can instead have her just focus on attacking. Although, tempting to put her on heal and support, but I don't think it's necessary. So, once again, we just resume with the Getsue spam. Now, if I wanted to, I actually have quite a bit of Onyx in my inventory. I could have bought some sword cards in order to really ratchet up Rakshasa's offensive capabilities. However, also my team order has been slightly shuffled because we were separated like that. But it's not really worth it to use stat cards on Persona you don't plan to keep for a while. Also, woof, that's lucky. If the protagonist gets hit with Charm, you are in for some trouble, as there is not really much you can do to manage that, because the protagonist is the only one who can cure status ailments guaranteed. Ailments, especially Charm, in Persona 3 FES, forgot to take Akihiko off of heal and support there. Not a big deal, though. But Charm kind of breaks the AI, and ailments in general do. Rather than curing ailments, even if they have the ability to do so, the AI loves to make sure your HP is full before they even consider restoring your status. This is an especially big problem with Yukari, who learns Charm D as one of her main skills. It's very frustrating to deal with, and when we get to later fights where the enemy can multi-target Charm against you, you definitely want to have Charm immunity for your protagonist so you can just deal with that junk as soon as it happens. Fear is another good status to have coverage for that kind of thing. Here comes Maragi on. This is a skill that makes it rather perilous to bring Mitsuru here. Now, because our attack is wearing off, I'm going to use the Namugi Water, because the boss's attack is also going to restore itself to its condition, or full condition here, so we don't want to be at lower HP if it decides to use Maragi on again. Yukari, how'd you miss that one? Oh well, not a big deal. Even though I have all those Fierce Sutras in my inventory, this thing is so close to dead anyway. I don't really think it's worth it to go for it. If we were, like, one level higher, I could probably find something diffused that would give Junpei an even better weapon. Spirit Drain? What's even that nonsense? Honestly, if it's gonna do that, I'm not even gonna bother having Akihiko Tarunda it again. Let's just get to killing it. Yeah, this fight is not too bad. It can be a little frustrating if your protagonist has a really good weapon and he gets charmed, because that opens you up to being hit for some really nasty damage. But I have Root Knuckles with a Legion ability on it, so I don't have to worry about him winging any devastating crits at the rest of the party. Looks like it's hanging on with just a sliver. This will probably hurt us quite a bit. Oh, never mind, protagonist dodge. Well, let's finish this in style. Get out of here. Oh, come on! Yukari, don't you dare, yeah, there we go. That did a lot more damage than I would have figured. Alright, we win. Let's see how much experience we get here. The bosses in Persona 3 FES and Portable are so generous with experience. Look at that. We gained 3 levels in one night. Damn, Akihiko was even more pissed than Yukari was there. Don't really see that much wrath from him.
It's the source of the mind manipulation.
Actually, Fuka, it's still Lovers. Anyways, this is going to go pretty similarly to how the previous fight did. Fortunately, Yukari is going to be able to put in some more work when it comes to damage dealing here, since she doesn't have to worry about covering her weakness anymore. So we can just have her fire off with Garus, and it should deal some decent damage, particularly once we get a Fierce Sutra in. Though I'm not going to use it while Defensi still has auto-target Kaja in effect. It won't refresh it, and that just feels a little wasteful. As always, we definitely want to get Tarunda on it, because that is a great way to mitigate the incoming damage. One nice thing about the Sutras in this version of the game, of course, is that we can have Mitsuru, Akihiko, or even Yukari use them, if we so desire. Unfortunately, as I said earlier in the video, I don't have Getsue, so I only have the much more useless Zane, which is only usable, or only at its strongest, on the new moon, which you are very rarely going to find yourself fighting on the new moon. But I do have Power Slash, which is good enough with the huge strength that Ares has at his disposal. More than good enough. Man, could you imagine if I had if I had Getsue backing that? Since Yukari was the only one who took some pretty unimpressive damage there, we'll just have her go. I'm wondering if I should just have Mitsuru guard, but that's not terribly interesting, so we'll run some risk here. as before, we're just gonna have Akihiko go in with his Fists of Fury. Here comes the Marakilao. Let's see what we get. A little bit of damage there, but nothing I wasn't expecting. Another strike attack onto Yukari. Not anything she's too concerned about. Let's go for a Power Slash here, and until, oh, damn it. Until Mitsuru gets her footing back a little bit, we'll just have her guard. Mitsuru, or Yukari, can use Media's to just keep ourselves a little charged. As you can see, though, Media just has very, very unimpressive healing at this stage of the game. It's really disappointing in this version that Yukari finally learns Media at a point where it stops being all that helpful. Okay, let me see here. Attack reverted. So this turn, what I can do is I can have Mitsuru run a little risk and use a Fierce Sutra on us to get us topped off a little bit. Actually, you know what? Let's... Slight on-the-fly revision, actually. Let's do the Fierce Sutra here instead. Actually, what am I thinking? The boss's stuff is going to run out no matter what. Well, actually, the reason I want to do that is because Mitsuru's going to be vulnerable once that runs out. Nine Karen. Okay, that's lucky. That's lucky. Let's see here. Get the Raccoon going, and that'll get some good damage going for Akihiko and Yukari. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm just gonna have Mitsuru keep guarding here. It's a bit of a shame. If she had Bufala, I'd probably run more risk with her, but I didn't really train her at all when we were going through Tartarus, so she's just kind of here to tank a little bit, but not in a very effective way. Alright, that's a little bit of nasty damage on Yukari, but I'm not overly concerned about that. We can just do another Media once her turn comes up. Or you know what? We can kill the boss here. Alright, this isn't going too bad. That is the power of having a high amount of HP to work with.
Unforgivable. I'll never forgive you for that!
Oh, nice little detail there, Yukari. Not only is she going first, she actually gets her Theurgy immediately, which is kind of fun, actually. May as well just pop off of that, why not? Not the most damage we can deal with it, but we're just having fun, alright? Let Yukari get her lick in real quick. Not bad, not bad. Could have gotten more damage out of that if I set up the, what is it, the Raccoon first. Do I have anything else with Secunda? Let me see here. Does not look like it, so I'm just gonna get straight into what I was doing in the previous fight and unload with the torrent shots. Unfortunately, this guy's resistant to them, so we're gonna have to look for an alternative source of damage. But hey, that just keeps things exciting. We'll also throw out the Racunda here, as per usual. And we will also have Akihiko Tarunda it. Once my turn comes around, I'm going to have Fuka scan it, and then I can plan out my actions from there. I'm also going to have Yukari. Oh, here comes the Holy Arrow. Ooh, and it got a crit. Oh, jeez.
Watch out! It's dangerous to get hit by that attack while you're charmed.
Not like I had much of a choice, Fuka. Alrighty, let's see. I was going to use the Secunda on it. Well, actually, no, wait, no, I will use the Secunda on it. Akihiko's just going to get up, and you know what? He can heal himself. And while I'm thinking of it, let's have Fuka scan it. Okay, fire immune. We'll want to go with anything but Pierce, Fire, or Elect. So let me look here. What's the next best thing I have after Pierce? Not you. Let's see. Don't have Elect Boost on him. But I do have it on, wait a minute, no. Elect is one of the things I don't want to use. I already immediately forgot about that. Boy, I am on fire today. But he does have Assault Dive. Oh, man. I don't really have a good thing for the protagonist here. Might be a good idea to go for, just supporting the party. Ooh. Actually, you know what? We got Getsue here, and it's a full moon. Why not? We don't have Slash Boost, but it's good enough. It'll do in a pinch. Whoa! Okay. That also works. That's good for me. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna have Mitsuru use an Umugi Water here, and then I'm gonna have Akihiko diorama himself. And that should do us good. It was pretty unfortunate that we got nailed with that crit there.
He's looking intense.
Okay, and then use the diorama here. By the way, my plan for the Oracle that I have in the tank is once my auto buffs expire, I'm going to make sure everybody has as much HP as possible. That's unfortunate. Luckily, this is actually the one time where the game bucks the turn order to help us out here. Yukari goes first, so we can just immediately get rid of that nonsense. And then we can go for a Getsue. I was not expecting this to deal as much damage as it did. That was completely unplanned. Alright, works for me though, works for me. And hit it with a Bufala here. Mitsuru is good, reliable damage, though she's mostly going to be relying on her Theurgy to hit the big numbers, as you can see. This thing is resistant to Elect, so Akihiko's just going to stick to the Sonic Punches here. If we're lucky, we might get a crit on it and knock it down, giving itself a diorama, but I'm not oh, wow. That was a lot more than I was expecting, actually. Oh well, that's just going to delay the inevitable for this poor fool. One thing that's going to help us out right now is now that I'm going to pop the Oracle, Akihiko's personality trait is going to kick in for his Theurgy gauge, so that should allow him to get his Theurgy going a lot faster. And remember, the Elemental Theurgies ignore elemental resistances and or they pierce elemental resistances, so we don't have to worry about that Elect Resist stonewalling his Theurgy power. Let's see, and we need to extend all our debuffs here. Definitely want to keep this thing from getting too powerful. Yeesh, though, that diorama set us back quite a bit. Hopefully it doesn't do that again. Alright, hit it there. What's it gonna do? A Marin Karen on the leader? Seductive Breath. Okay, that's fine, that's fine.
Please, be careful. That mist can hypnotize you.
Look, you're just being paranoid, Fuka. Anyways, Yukari can't really deal good damage to this thing, so we're just gonna have her build up her Theurgy with Medias, as well as keep the party topped off. I'm just going to keep unloading with Getsue. This is actually on the fly. Oh! And you know what? This is where you have to realize it's not always a good idea to go for an all-out attack. Instead, we're going to go for another Getsue, and 476 damage. That is way more. Oh, boy. Oh, jeez. This thing is just having an absolutely terrible day right now. That was quite fortunate, I gotta say. Maybe if we're really lucky, this will freeze it. No, unfortunately not. I think bosses might have immunity to that. Anyways, Akihiko's got his Lightning Spike queued up. I think bosses, at least non-Tartarus bosses, tend to be immune to Dizzy as well. Okay, Sexy Dance. Oh dear. That's unfortunate. Yukari Frenzies. That's fine. As long as she doesn't crit. Okay. Luckily, the turn order has shifted around a little bit, so Mitsuru is next in line. Let's see here. We need to... do I have a multi-targeting status here? Also, I always forget that when you're afflicted with a particular ailment, it gets shuffled to the top of your inventory. Alright, so we want to get that on Akihiko. It might be going for that attack again, so we actually want to get it off of me, the charm status. This does mean that Yukari's going to get a chance to... Or actually, no, the Heartbreaker will dissipate that. Oh, wow, that was surprisingly non-threatening. Alright, business as usual. Slight setback there. Not something we can always prepare for. Although, one thing to note, it rarely comes up, but if you are guarding, you actually have... okay, let's see, if buffs or debuffs are about to expire. If you are guarding, you are actually completely immune to ailments. This is one of those rare times where that can come in handy, because we don't really have other ways to protect against ailments, and I was thinking a little bit harder, I could have done that. Alright, sweet. We can get another Getsue in. We don't have the Tarukaja boost anymore, but that's not a big deal. Get that in. We'll need to put in our rest of our debuffs. Definitely want to get the Tarunda in, if nothing else. We do not want to be eating full-powered hits from this thing. I would have liked to be able to get the Fierce Sutra in, but I don't think that's going to happen. So we're just going to continue on the fight with how we've been doing. But yeah, this is a good instance of where it's not always a good idea for going for the all-out attack, because I can guarantee you the all-out attack would be dealing much less damage than the Getsue. Unfortunately, now it's firing off with its fire magic. Who's it going for? That's fine.
What's wrong?
Let's see, attack reverted. want to think about how I approach this. Let's see. We'll go with the Secunda here. Then I'll use a Soul Refresh on Mitsuru. Soul Refresh or Discharm, whichever is at the top of the list. Let's see. Why are they not? I guess because the down status overwrites the priority. I'm noticing all sorts of weird things I've never noticed before.
Now you've done it.
Okay, and then we want Mitsuru to guard, and we'll just have Akihiko diorama her. We're going to sandbag, well not sandbag, but we're going to take it a little slow. Make sure we're in a good position for the next turn. Alright. Here comes a sexy dance. This is probably going to tag a few people. That's a fortunate selection of people for her to avoid. She's going to heal the boss a little bit. But fortunately, it's not nearly as bad as what the boss is capable of. Let's see. I'm going to go for the Getsue, honestly, and then Mitsuru's going to cure Akihiko. Akihiko will cure Yukari, and we don't have to worry about the Heartbreaker. Let's see here. Cure Akihiko. Could have probably bought a few more Discharms than this, but it ended up not being a big deal. I think the Sexy Dance is also programmed to miss on at least one character every time. See, here comes another Agidyne. Unfortunately, going for Mitsuru. Couldn't get the dodge to go through. He's going through another Marin Karen, I suppose. On Yukari. Ooh, she's going to take out Mitsuru, isn't she? Yep, saw that coming from a mile away. That's okay, though. We've got these items to help us out. I forget if that'll put... the way this affects the turn order is... Okay, that does put Mitsuru right back in the turn order. Ah, crap. Okay. That's unfortunate. This fight's going a little sideways now due to some unforeseen consequences. The one thing I absolutely need is that Akihiko get the Tarunda through. And I want to make sure that Yukari can't heal the boss or attack us. So let's use the Discharm on her. And then let's have Akihiko Tarunda the boss. This is getting kind of annoying right now. We're unfortunately getting hit with probably the worst things we could possibly get hit with. Okay, here comes Heartbreaker. That's not a big deal. We are immune to that because I set up all my stuff. No, let's be a little patient here. Secunda it. Let's see, and then get up a Fierce Sutra. What I'm gonna do next turn is have Yukari unload with the Cyclone Arrow, not Error. Let's get the Rakunda up. And there is a chance that Mitsuru will get tagged with Agidyne again. I'm fine with that if it happens. It's not a huge deal. I think I can finish the fight next turn. Let's see here. And I just want to... Do I have anything else that can help me out here in terms of mitigating its damage? Not really, so I'm just going to use a Mugi Water to top off everyone. This should put us in a pretty good standing for the next turn. What's it going to do? Holy Arrow, that's fine. And especially, yeah, Mitsuru. Oh, come on. Every friggin' time. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. It has too much health for that to work. Okay. I'm getting frustrated with that. I'm getting the worst stuff every single time. Yeah, I'm on it. We'll take care of this next turn. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to have Mitsuru guard. That'll cover her fire weakness, and then we should finally get a turn where I can just fire off my attacks and end this fight. Ugh. Yeah, definitely, it was a bit of a flavor reason that I brought Mitsuru, but she's definitely suboptimal to bring to this fight because of Agidyne. Fortunately, when she's guarded, that's not anything we have to concern ourselves with. Anyways, now we're going to unload on this thing and just completely shred its health bar. Cyclone Arrow will deal some good damage. Then we'll hit it with... Oh, wow. That is pretty stugly damage, actually. And I don't actually have any boosting accessories on Yukari. Cyclone Arrow is such a good thing for Yukari in this version of the game. It really makes her damage shine once we get some accessories for her. Alright, Mitsuru, this thing has been trolling you for pretty much the entire fight, so you get the honors.
I don't dispute the doubts you've outlined, but it's my right to waste your time.